Now, Avery, it's a really neat case in a sense that she was treated early on with orthodontics, and I'm going to show you pictures of the original pictures that the orthodontist saw when she was 12, 13, 14. And I'm going to kind of give you a scope of looking at those pictures, what I would be thinking on there. And then I'm going to show you where I picked up the case on it. So when we're looking at these pictures, this is her pictures when she went to the orthodontist age, 12 to 14 or whatnot. At this point, she was having already headaches, pain issues, and things like that. Mid-ortho, she did see other joint pain specialists, wore out orthotics. Now, at this crossroad, when I'm looking at a case, I'm thinking she doesn't quite need my help just yet. Looking at the maxilla, she needs the help of myofunctional therapy. She needs some Bucheco breathing retraining. We need a level of physical therapy to correct posture and stance to get number one, breathing and airway sorted out. Because until I take care of that component, no matter what kind of orthodontic therapy I do, I'm in it to create issues for her on the long end. And that kind of exactly what happened, because the orthodontic essentially for her stimulated further disintegration, deterioration in the joints. Now, when I saw her at the age of 18, 19, this is a cross-section view. Look at airway. When we did sleep study, yes, I've got sleep issues. When we look at MRI on her, yes, cartilage is beat up. I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my God, she's 18, 19, 20 years old. Joints are compressed, headaches every day. I'm, having difficulty concentrating in school, kind of the whole 9 yards. So on her, our protocols are to, hey, let's do everything we can in a non-surgical fashion to help her. If we can reopen spaces, we're going to do that. And first and foremost, we got to get this kid out of pain and get her on the right track. So when you look at the pictures of June 2017, I'm struggling getting lips together. Look at the chin, look at the mentalis strain, and kind of look at the posture on her, right? Now, and I've got a kid who's kind of deteriorating also. Luckily, she didn't go through bicuspid extraction, which was good. Good teeth, worn down occlusion a little bit for her age, but everything comes together. Dentally, no cavities, things like that on it. Now, as I'm looking at these pictures, yes, we're going to go through a very collaborative approach in this case, in a sense that I want to see what I can do in virtue of mobilizing the upper cervical neck, making sure my hip and pelvis is in balance and there's no canting issues going on or rotations, and then working on her in terms of breathing. As that's happening on the back end, I'm working with her in terms of neutralizing her bite, neutralizing the joints with a mouthpiece. So to give you a kind of an idea of timeline on her, we went through non-surgical therapy and we sought improvement, but at the same time, as I'm doing scans on her, utilizing cone beam, MRI, K7, and jaw motion tracking, I know that, hey, for this early age, at around 20 at this point, my joints are rapidly deteriorating. So at that point, I sought out a consult with Reza Movahed, who I work with for double jaws on it, and I go through my protocol with Reza, and I show him, in a few slides I'll show you exactly what I'm seeing on my non-surgical end. The pictures on the right are the actual disc that we removed. Now that is the proof that, hey, she really did have perforated disc both sides on her. Now, in terms of pre-surgical orthodontics, we plan out case to open up to make space for Reza to do surgery. When we go into the surgery on these type of cases, with all of the technology we have at this point, once we're live in surgery, we're not doing anything or any movements that are subjective in nature. This surgery was highly planned out in a sense that it is very pathologically oriented from a neuromuscular perspective.
It's already lighting up the anesthesia. Just that choreography when everything's so smooth. It's just such a satisfying.
I'm getting voice from somewhere else. So we open spaces up. Then, in a very three-dimensional, in a very precise way, we're able to virtually do surgery, reposition things where we need to, and then we reset the bite. So at every step of the surgery, Reza and I are able to put precise surgical sense in and then bring the jaws back together. Now, in this picture, I'm showing you what the ultrasound looked like before we set her up for consultation with surgery. So when I'm setting up the cases for collaboration with Reza, he has a really good idea and a really solid idea of what's coming in. So he's not going in blind into his consultations. So looking at MRI data, ultrasounds, I can see exactly where the disc was perforated, and surely exactly in that location there was discal issues on it. Now, here is a picture of immediately pre-surgically, immediately post-surgically, and look at the impact we made on her in a dramatic way. Airway, we blew that thing open on her. So for me and my team, we changed this 20-year-old kid's life.
It's finally starting to feel like it was worth it. I am 9 weeks out, this week's 9 weeks out, and the first, I'd say, 5 or 6 weeks were pretty rough. I wasn't totally sure it was worth it then, but now that I can finally start to eat again and I kind of have my energy back, I'm able to get out and do things. I definitely think it's worth it now. I haven't had a single headache since, not even a small one, which I forgot what that felt like. I had a headache every single day for probably the past 2 years. I can breathe. That was one really big problem I was having. My throat was closing since my jaw was pushed back so far, and I couldn't breathe out of my nose. I was only breathing out of my mouth, which Dr. Sitaram did not like. Now my lips close and I can breathe out of I pretty much have only been breathing out of my nose, which is crazy because I didn't really think I would notice that much of a difference, and I definitely do with that, which is kind of wild.